Hello, and thank you so much for spending a few moments with me today. My name is Laura Torbett. I'm a mama, a yoga teacher, and a movement enthusiast. And I'm here today to share a bit about this four-phase approach to movement that really addresses and supports each menstrual rhythm in a unique way. The lunae roadmap of workouts will sort of take the guesswork out for you. So you just have these options available to you in each phase of the cycle. But I'm going to give you kind of a high level overview of each one and how we've sort of curated this collection of practices in each phase to support you all month long and really to keep you moving so that you don't have to feel like all of your efforts from, your follicular phase when you're feeling really good, so that you don't have to derail those efforts when your energy level dips or you start to experience symptoms of PMS. You can stay in flow all month long by just shifting your approach. So in the lunae roadmap of workouts, we start with the menstrual phase. And the menstrual phase is your flow days. So we treat it as, day one of your period through the end of your flow. And this is a point in the cycle where your hormone levels are at their lowest. Your energy levels are also at their lowest. And you might be feeling a bit of that imbalance between the relaxation and contraction response in the uterine wall, resulting in things like cramping in the low belly and in the back. You might have some fatigue or some sort of mood fluctuations. So in this phase of the cycle, we have gentle movement practices, things that promote mobility and movement in the hips. They promote the downward flow of energy. So lots of mat-bound practices, Pilates, yoga, and really a way to actively rest. So we want to rest more during the menstrual phase. And this gives you a way that if you're someone who feels just a little bit groggy or foggy if you don't get to move your body, here's a way to do it and stay in motion without taxing your body too much. After the menstrual phase, we move into the follicular phase. So that's anytime after your flow and before ovulation occurs. This is a time of growing energy. Our estrogen hormones are on the rise, as are energy levels, and the body sort of opens to new ideas, new experiences, so that mind-body connection is really awakened and alive. So in this part of the lunae roadmap, you will find things like cardiovascular workouts, bar workouts, vinyasa yoga, some weight training. This is a time in the cycle where our baseline metabolism declines just a bit and we find faster recovery times. So what this means is our inner chemistry is primed for higher exertion without the risk of tipping into burnout. So you can enjoy those steady state cardio workouts and a bit of heavier sweating. So you can really kind of burn through some of the congestion and stagnation that might still be lingering from your previous cycle. Our breathwork and meditation practices in this phase focus on heating and stirring up creative energy so that you can channel it in productive ways and use this part of the cycle to generate new ideas and move forward. After the follicular phase, we move into the ovulatory phase. This is about midway point of your cycle. It's the shortest phase, maybe 3 to 5 days long. And if you have a longer cycle, it's usually about 2 weeks before your next period. And this is when hormone levels are peaking. Coupled with that, we have a surge in testosterone. So this gives us access to the explosive power that higher intensity workouts demand. So we still have that lower baseline metabolism added to it, this sort of hormonal cocktail that lets us really channel our inner Wonder Woman and find our power in this glowing part of the cycle, this really pivotal moment in the cycle. So in the lunae roadmap, you'll find high intensity interval training, power yoga, these boot camp workouts, things that really just allow you to find your power and work hard. And we're doing this with the goal of sweating, generating some heat so that we can metabolize excess estrogen and really tap the well of endorphins in preparation for the second half of the cycle. I always like to talk about what you do when you feel good matters. So think of these workouts in the first half of the cycle as sort of deposits into your body's bank account, so that as you move into kind of the lower energy phases of the cycle, you can stay in flow. You don't have to feel like, oh, I can't show up in the same way. You're not expected to. You're not expected to show up in the same way every day, because you are not the same person every day. That's the gift of being in flow, of having a cyclical nature, is that you get to be a different person every day of the month. In the ovulatory phase, we have some breathwork and meditation practices to support kind of the calming response. So with heightened hormones and elevated energy levels, if our minds are busy or we have very busy schedules, it can sort of tip us into overwhelm, or it can come with some symptoms of anxiety. So breathwork and meditation in this phase will help you create kind of that neutral place, that middle ground in the mind, give the mind a job to do so that you can use that energy in very productive and creative ways at this point in the cycle. So the second half of the cycle is the luteal phase. It's the longest phase, lasting from right after ovulation up until the onset of your next period. And it can be a tricky phase for movement, because we have still some peaking hormones at the very beginning of this phase before they start to drop off. But then we have the added hormone of progesterone, which can increase the inflammation response. And while it can leave us feeling calm, it can also have some heaviness or water retention. Maybe we feel a bit tired. So in this phase, we slow it down. We focus on steady effort under resistance, and we simplify the movement patterns. So this premenstrual phase of the cycle is a tricky one for balance. Studies have shown that balance is more challenging during this time. So we'll simplify the movement patterns. We'll switch to things like upper and lower body splits with targeted movement in kind of simple but effective exercises. You'll find yoga, kind of more gentle flows, gentle Pilates, and ways to kind of meet your body wherever you are in this phase of the cycle. No two cycles are alike. So one luteal phase, you might be feeling like you really want to hit the weights and go heavy. Another one, you might be really just needing the gentle flows, the yoga, kind of more of that calming response. So in the luteal phase of the lunae roadmap, we kind of cover all of those bases and give you a place, an entry point for whatever is arising for you in that part of the cycle. For the breathwork and meditation in the luteal phase, we're focusing on activating the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the point in the cycle where the telltale signs of PMS might be kind of starting to creep in. And so we use the breath to shift into rest and digest, the parasympathetic nervous system, to calm and ease the mind and create a bit of space to clear the fog. A lot of times this can be more of a challenging time for focus and mental clarity. So our breath work and meditation will really focus on helping you get there in this last phase of the cycle. So that's a quick high-level overview of kind of how we map an exercise program, an exercise schedule onto the menstrual cycle in a way that can feel supportive all month long. We really employ movement as an instrument of self-care. It's something that can be done for the body so that you don't have to choose. Like I felt like I always had to choose between self-care and exercise. Now they can be one and the same. When you bring the element of body awareness, mind-body connection, the breath into your workouts, they're up-leveled. They become a way to care for your body, to listen to your body. And at Lunae, we want you to be seen. We want movement to be an entry point to self-reflection and self-knowing. We want your body to be heard, where you get to listen and rest more, where you're not pushing through workouts because you feel like you have to. And when you let your body be moved with empowering workouts that you enjoy, you get to tap into the flow. You enter into the flow. That's where your power is. You get to leverage what's happening in your inner world so that you can show up in the outer world in the way that you want to.